That's the conversation.
Oh, that's a funny way to start the podcast. All right, what is going on, people? ActivesiN here, and we're back for another week of... Why isn't this working? My button's not working. Oh, that's depressing. The Den of Sin. Minus the noise. And we have the similar guests here as we always do. Some people are missing, but that's okay, whatever. We got some cool topics to talk about today, but why don't you guys introduce yourselves and we will get going. Why don't we start with you, Real?
Yo, what's up? It's your boy ReGaming27 back again with Sin the Ding. Got a few topics to talk about tonight, and let's enjoy the show.
All right, Retro.
What's up, YouTube? Retro Bro here. Got some interesting news for you. Not too much tonight, but a little something, something.
And Sinister.
Hey, what's happening, y'all? Sinister here, and just get it rolling.
All right, so as we always do on the Den of Sin, we're going to be talking about what we've been playing since last week we saw each other. So why don't we start with you, Retro, since I know this was one of the rare weeks where you actually got to play a lot of games for once.
Yeah, I played tons of Xenoverse 2. For anybody that's played Xenoverse 1, they have fixed quite a bit. Hit detection has been improved a great deal, so that's no longer an issue. You can no longer spam super attacks. When you're Super Saiyan, you don't have infinite ki anymore. It's a base multiplier, kind of like if you played Budokai Tenkaichi or the old Budokai games. So it increases strength and stuff, but no longer spamming. They added a lot of the movie characters now, so when you're going through like the time patrols and stuff like that, you actually have the movie characters intervening to try to stop some of the stuff. So Turles and Lord Slug play a huge part in this game, as well as Metal Cooler. So that was pretty cool. I also like the fact that every class has a transformation now. So since humans don't technically actually have transformations, they gave them transformations for the game. They actually count the Flying Nimbus as a transformation, and it gives you like this super DPS mode where you hit really hard and you hit really fast. But the only downside to it is if you get hit once, you're knocked out of it. So you hit ridiculously hard and you're ridiculously fast when you're on that thing. Then with Namekians, they gave them this defensive mode where you can do giant Namekian, kind of like how Piccolo did back in the original Dragon Ball when he fought Goku and the 22 Budokai. So you can actually do that. And for Frieza Race, you get Golden Form now. So you can compete with the Super Saiyans. And for Buu, you get what's called the Pure Buu form, also known as Kid Buu. So a lot of fun. I reached level 80 in 2 days. Game is fantastic.
Why don't you tell the people how many hours, the disgusting amount of hours you put into this game since it came out on Friday?
Bruh, I think I put in at least 35 hours. I got no sleep over the weekend.
Ridiculous.
I got my Super Saiyan to level 80, beat the game, then started another character, and he's already level 40.
Wow. So compared to the first Xenoverse, you think it's better?
It's a lot better because it makes fighting a little bit more competitive now. You can no longer spam stuff, and they added a lot more combos. Like you can still do like the basic button mashing combos, but they teach you a lot of combos in the tutorial where you can chain a lot of different things together. And then each class in the game has different combos in the way they chain together too. So it feels quite nice. I feel like this game allows you to balance characters more and for it to be successful. Because in the old game, you could balance characters for story mode, but if you made a balanced character and went to PvP, you'd be crushed right away. Where in this game, you need to balance everything because stamina plays an even bigger part than it did in the older game. Like they have what's called the guard breaker now, and the guard breaker now doesn't just break through guard, but it destroys all of your opponent's stamina bar instantly. So say if they're blocking too much and you guard break, they break all their stamina. And if they don't have stamina anymore, they can't teleport behind you or anything like that. So while their guard is completely broken and you broke the stamina, they're subjected to being hit that whole time until their stamina builds back up.
Wow. There's one thing. Oh, Retro. There's one thing. Is PyCon in that game? Yes or no?
I'm not sure because I haven't got to even though I beat the game, I haven't got all the end game content. I know a lot of the characters I've seen right now seem to be movie
Do you have to buy
characters
some
and
ridiculous
Dragon
season
Ball
pass or
Super.
something?
Right.
They do have a seasons pass, but it's only for the super characters, and that's like $20. But I think it's fair though, because the seasons pass is supposed to be for all the new super characters that they're showing in the show that they
Oh,
didn't
okay.
completely develop. Like if you pre-ordered the game, you got Goku Black, but one of the things that come with the season pass is his Super Saiyan Rose form, and since Dragon Ball Super is currently premiering that form, they're trying to give it time to complete his arc so they can actually give him his legitimate moves.
Oh, I see.
So I think that's fair. And they do have Hit. And yes, you can use Toki Tobashi and stop time as him.
Oh.
Right now, Hit is probably the best character in the game with Toki Tobashi.
Okay, so at least you're enjoying it. That's good. I'm not a big Xenoverse guy. I didn't think it was worth $60 the first time around. Maybe this second one is, but at least you like the game. Everyone else that I see that's been playing it, they seem to like it a lot, so that's a good thing. Any kind of improvements you think they need in this, or?
There is one really weird thing. Even though they improved hit detection a great deal, there's this weird thing where the controls are super sensitive. So when you're attacking a person, you can't press any of the motion controls. Because if you press any of the motion controls while you're attacking the person, it does this weird thing where mid-combo it makes you punch the opposite way, which leaves you open to get like ragged on. And I thought it was like a bug or something at first, but what it is when you're doing combos, you can't press any of the motion controls or that happens, which is really weird. So they
Okay.
definitely need to fix that.
Well, hopefully they do. Okay, so Sinister, what have you been up to? What have you been playing since last week?
Oh, one more thing, just as a disclaimer.
Yep.
One thing that Bandai Namco did, and I think a lot of other companies should do, is they did this game right, because what they did, I know you guys probably didn't know this, but Bandai Namco, after Xenoverse 1, sent out a survey to all the bigger YouTubers in the Dragon Ball community, and they spread the word about the survey, so everyone that went on their channels clicked on the links, and they told in the survey what they liked about Xenoverse 1, what they thought was wrong, and what they thought needed to be fixed, and a lot of those things legitimately got fixed this game. They listened to the community.
Well, that's great.
If only Nintendo can do it.
Yeah.
Okay, why don't you let us know, Sinister, what you've been up to, what you've been playing?
Lately, I got a WWE 2K17. That was a late birthday gift for me.
Nice.
I fooled around with, created my wrestler and all that stuff. I haven't, really fooled around with it yet. But earlier I was playing on my emulator. I was playing Tecmo Bowl NCAA 17. Of course, I was using Alabama because I know the running back, on that team, Damian Harris, because I know him, since he was a little kid and stuff like that. So, I was creating a little, gameplay video, which I just uploaded earlier. But other than that, I mean, just that's all I've been playing because just like I said, work just got in the way. But that's what Retro was saying. I was thinking about picking up Xenoverse 2, but I'm gonna wait till it's a little bit cheaper because I don't feel like paying $60 at the moment. But before we head on the reel, I was at work. We had so many orders. I mean, that game was selling massively at work. I mean, the special edition more than the original.
Xenoverse?
Yep.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Because remember, when we talked about that special edition, that's the one that came with that giant Goku statue.
Man, that
you
thing
saw.
is huge. I was at EB Games a couple, on the weekend. They had one in the display case. It's massive.
Yeah. I mean, we sold so many of those copies. I mean, the week before it came out. But that's all I have.
Okay. Real, what have you been playing since last week?
I've been playing Twilight Princess HD on the Wii U. I actually played my Wii U. It's been a long time I played it, so I'm actually I'm enjoying Twilight Princess. I love the game. I'm like 25 hours into it. I think I'm on the Desert Temple right now.
Okay.
And I should be pretty close to being finished. So I'm just really getting excited for this news that's coming out in March.
Yeah.
Man, Breath of the Wild game looks so awesome, man. I just had to replay Twilight Princess. Of course, this is my first time playing in HD. Last time I played was on the Wii. It looks better in HD, but Nintendo, they could have did a better job, instead of up-resing it. But it's okay.
It was a half-ass remaster. Let's be real.
Yeah, it was a half-ass, but overall, I still love the game. I'm a huge Zelda fan, and just
That's
everything
a
about
fantastic game. Yeah.
Yeah, it is a fantastic game because it pushed me over from the PlayStation 4 to Xbox One for over a week. So I might got at least maybe 2-3 more days left. I should be finishing up with it. And that's basically all I've been playing, man. I'm just enjoying it, man. I just love it. So I'm just preparing for this Switch hype.
Yeah, like that was a good game. I got my little Twilight Princess amiibo here. I beat that game. It was good. It was solid, but like as a remaster, it was kind of lackluster. I wasn't impressed. I think could have did a better job. But whatever. It's better than nothing. It's still an awesome game. But for me, I've been playing a lot of Middle-earth: Shadow of Mordor because I've been seeing Jay Dauntless like stream that shit every day. Keeps popping up at my feed. I'm like, damn, that was a really good game. So I picked it up on PC this time around, playing it. 1080p, 60 FPS, ultra settings, shits on the console version. It's so much smoother, so much cleaner, just a better experience as usual. That is an amazing game. If you guys haven't played that game, I highly suggest it. That's one of the best games that came out this generation. I think that was like runner-up for Game of the Year 2014. I think they lost to Dragon Age or something, but that game kicks ass.
Right.
Yeah, it's got like the combat of Batman Arkham series, and then it has a lot of elements from Assassin's Creed and mixed with Lord of the Rings. It's just an awesome game. So definitely check that out. Obviously playing more Paladins because Paladins is a very addicting game. But that's about it. Yeah, Shadow of Mordor. I should be able to finish that another day or two. I think right now I've branded all of the war chiefs. So I got my army of war chiefs. So we're gonna plow through the armies after that. But that's about it. So when we get into the topics here, and first topic, something I've been waiting to hear for a while. The final Wii U will roll off of production this week, this Friday. This comes from Eurogamer. They have said Nintendo will end Wii U production this Friday. Multiple sources have confirmed this to Eurogamer. And yeah, so as of today, or as of September 30th, I guess that's the last time they counted, Nintendo has shipped 13.36 million Wii U's, which is terrible. Dog shit console. Nobody bought it. Nobody likes it. That's the total that they've shipped. If you want a comparison, it says here GameCube sold 21 million, N64 sold 32 million, and the Wii sold 101 million. So they're finally done with this thing. Maybe that means we're going to get some sort of fire sale, and they're just going to clear them out, make shelf space for the Switch.
I doubt it.
They have to do something because Nintendo has the smallest shelf space in any store. Like if you go to GameStop, if you go to Best Buy or whatever store you go to, any video game store, Nintendo has the smallest section. So they're not going to waste their shelf space with Wii U's. They're going to want to stock the Switch. So obviously Nintendo has to discount this thing so these stores can get rid of the stock, right? They're not just going to sit on a bunch of useless inventory.
It's true. In GameStop, there's more shelves for Amiibo than games.
Exactly. So if you've been holding out for a Wii U for a price drop, I would keep my eyes open because chances are it's going to have a big price drop soon.
Yeah,
most likely.
Like I said, Bargain Bin City.
Yeah, it should have been Bargain Bin
question though.
Years ago. But
who's
whatever.
still buying Wii U at this point?
Well, if you can get it cheap, there are a lot of good games on it.
If you're a retro collector, man, especially they about to stop production, so let's say after everything's been cleared, let's say 14 million at the most what they're gonna sell. So basically, it's probably a good time to buy a Wii U whenever they do have that final sale, and just leave it in the box for like 20 or 30 years and watch how valuable that's gonna be.
Yeah, it'll probably be a lot.
It'll be a lot.
So what do you guys think about this? Why don't we start with you, Real?
I got mixed feelings about that. I know a lot of people want to, them to bury the Wii U alive a long time ago, but you still got to consider the fact that some of these Wii U owners was here day one, just like I was, and for them to just basically just get rid of it after 4 years. I don't even say 4 years because they abandoned it like a long time ago, like by 2.5 years. It's poor judgment. Like I know some people would like for them to port some games over to the Wii U from the Switch, and I doubt that's going to happen. and you know, it's not going to happen because they about to end production. So
the people think they're going to put Switch games on the Wii U.
yeah.
That's the other way around, guys. Wii U games are going to go to the Switch.
So yeah, like, you know, one side of me want Nintendo to at least support this for at least another year, maybe get some exclusive Wii U games, or maybe you know, have some Switch games ported over to Wii U. I don't know, but I don't know. It's a trick. It's kind of tricky with me. You know, I'm still pissed off. I paid $350 day one. I'm still pissed that, you know, I didn't get the Nintendo games that I wanted. I wanted my HD Metroid. You know, I wanted a lot of Nintendo first party games. I also wanted some third party games because before I got my Xbox One, you know, the Wii U was my primary console for a while, and you know, it sucks that a lot of games got skipped over as far as third party goes, and I was really pissed, and that got me to buy an Xbox One and the PlayStation 4. You know, but for some of these Wii U only owners out here, I really feel sorry for y'all, man. Like, you know, not everybody can afford multiple consoles, but y'all was lied to at the E3. Y'all was lied. You know, Nintendo, they basically said that y'all was gonna get all the third-party support. The EA went on stage and they really just lied through their teeth about supporting Nintendo. They basically gave like 3 games, and they just say the hell with Nintendo because the fan bases wouldn't buy their games. And you know, it was just kind of, I can't blame everything on third parties because Nintendo has a part to do with this. It's just been a lot of miscommunication, and it's been a mess. You know, I said this a long time ago, if Nintendo would have dropped its price to at least $200 at least a couple of years ago, then maybe we wouldn't even be talking about a Switch, to be honest, because around the time, I think like after the first year, that's when third parties had started abandoning the Wii U. Whenever third parties was skipping out on the Wii U, that should have been Nintendo's. That should have been their. They should have basically dropped that price of that Wii U to at least $250, $200, or maybe $250, and that would have, you know, sold more Wii U's and put more Wii U's in households. And when you sell more Wii U's, then you get more third parties on board. And it was just a lot of stuff that they did not do with this system. First party games, it was lackluster. You know, like I said a long time ago, you know, Nintendo, they need to focus on themselves first. Get more first-party games. Get more first-party games, then you're going to sell more consoles sold, third parties on board. And they refuse to do that. They refuse to market the system. They confused everybody. It's been a total mess, man. So,
yeah, they did a really bad job of trying to recover the console.
So basically, by them ending production, I don't even give a damn no more. But I'm pretty sure I say maybe at least half, or maybe most of the Wii U owners that bought it day one, they might be feeling kind of pissed off right now. Me, I don't even give a damn no more.
Most of them at this point are just, I think they're just ready to move on. I think they're excited that the new console's coming.
Yeah.
I know I am. I don't want this console. I should have never bought it a second time. It was a waste of money. Should just sold it.
But we got to be more cautious with Nintendo this time. Like, you know, I'm still hyped, but as what Nintendo did to us with this Wii U system, like, I just can't be like, you know what, I'm gonna jump back on board. I'm gonna stay excited. I'm gonna kind of take that. I'm gonna wait and see. No, I'm gonna buy day one.
Dude, that's not waiting and seeing. You can't say one thing and do the other. Come on.
Okay, well, I do. Okay, 9 times out of 10, I'm gonna buy day one. But if I see that it's gonna be the same Wii U situation over again, I'm gonna have to wait, man. Like I say, all the questions that we got, all the questions that we got from Nintendo, it's not gonna get answered to January 12th, and that's when I'm gonna make my decision, my final judgment about this.
With the Switch, I'm not really all too worried because from what I saw, this seems like the most traditional console Nintendo's made since even the GameCube, because like you can just play this like a normal console. And I think a lot of people want that, so I think that this will be okay. But as far as the Wii U goes, it was just a bad idea. The 2-screen experience on a home console is just stupid.
That was always too late on that.
But Sinister, what are your thoughts on this? Wii U production, technically it's still a rumor, I guess, but you can pretty much assume it's real. Last Wii U is going to roll off of production this Friday.
Oh, but heck, I mean, this last support is about run out anyway, so that's what I think of them. I mean, as far as like that Wii U being made, that was too little too late. I mean, you're going to sit there and wait till 2012 decided to make a high def version of the original Wii, which sold better, even though it was like in standard def and stuff like that. I mean, I get it at that time it was cheap because Nintendo's being known for being cheap, trying to get those casual sales, like the grandmas and grandpas, just that concept that everybody bought into. But I mean, just like Real mentioned on the Wii U, the way they lied and stuff like that. I mean,
well, to be fair, like it's not within Nintendo's control if these companies are going to abandon them. But what was under their control is how they handle it afterwards, and they did a shit job.
I think more or less it was in their control because the way they want to carry their brand is why they left. It wasn't like the companies were just being douches. They have terrible practices that's not only anti-consumer, but it's like third-party repellent. Because if you're third party, you know that you want your game on a platform that a lot of people are going to play, but you also want it on a platform where people can play online because you're going to make your game support that, and Nintendo servers have been terrible in the Wii U. And then let's also remember that one of the other things is free publicity by YouTube, and Nintendo ain't about that life like other companies are. So
it's just
from a business standpoint, it doesn't make sense to be on a console that won't let people advertise your game, and the console don't even advertise your game.
Yeah, I mean, look at the lack of the third-party support they got. I mean, there's some of the games, like some people just weren't, supporting it, and it's like, oh, they don't care. They didn't care for the concept, and just it didn't work. It just
I kid you not. I was watching Rogers' Base podcast yesterday, and he was saying that the Wii U had a Tekken game on it. I didn't even know it, like one of the newer Tekken games, because it's nothing they talked about. They just let it go there.
Yeah, but just to continue on, it's like with the Switch, but that presentation coming out in January, I was like, for me, I'm just gonna wait till I hear like all the information, like price, specs, and all, et cetera, et cetera. It's like before I think about shelling out any federal green to get it. So, but because I'm cautious. I mean, being a seasoned gamer and of course being a smart consumer, I was like, I'm gonna hold back a little bit. Just stuff like that is just. You gotta be a little smarter, when it comes to buying decisions and stuff like that,
Yeah, no, fair enough.
I mean, and that's just my bottom line. It's about to be flatline. Like I said, bury it 10 feet deep, just shove the dirt on it, just head rest in pieces.
Just let it die, and let's move on.
Yeah, that's all I have.
Let's just pretend this curse never happened.
Yeah, just non-existent.
Retro, what are your thoughts on this?
This is good. It's time to get rid of it. I don't want Nintendo wasting any more money on this nonsense.
Just be done with it.
Invest your money in what we need right now. Make sure you make it efficient. Like right now, the Wii U is their console version of the Virtual Boy failure. So they really need to just get rid of this. On the other hand, Nintendo's also stingy, and as much as there should be a fire sale in this like console being out of production, I feel like they're not going to, even though there should. Because every time we say Nintendo should do something because it would behoove them to make sense, they never do it. Like they refuse.
They're stingy. That's what they are.
Like I don't know if you guys noticed, but fun fact: the Wii U and the 3DS are worth the same trade-in value at GameStop. I kid you not. Because when I got my Wii U, I bought it off of eBay, and when I traded in to GameStop, they gave me $90 for the Wii U. My 3DS, I regrettably traded in over the summer because I was hurting on money. I really wanted to keep that, but they gave me $90 for that too.
Yeah.
It's insane. Because 3DS sells more. Like, there's a lot of games on 3DS people want that they make region locked and all this stuff. Like,
at least they said with the Switch that things not going to be region locked this time around, so that's good.
And I'm glad because there's a lot of good games right now. Like some of the Phoenix Wright games that came out recently, you can only buy digital. I just found out, like they weren't on Amazon or any of the stores, which is weird. And then I've always wanted to play Dragon Ball Heroes, but they only make it in Japanese because it's like an RPG card game, and they don't think it'll sell well in America.
Because it probably won't.
shoot, I would buy it. And they had like another Dragon Ball card game, and it actually had like an 8 by a lot of reviewers. It was that Haraku Densu, or however you pronunciate it.
I think I've seen that.
JRPGs for the PS4 don't sell that well out here in the West, but we still get it.
I think JRPGs do better on the 3DS.
Right.
I'm talking about on the PS4.
Yeah, I know. I'm just saying in general. Like, I think the 3DS is the best device for JRPGs.
Well, I think the other problem that the PS4 has is that a lot of the PlayStation crowd that likes JRPGs are still in the PS3, just to be completely honest.
Right.
A lot of them refuse to go to the PS4 because they enjoy playing games online, and it costs extra money. It's like if you have a lot of bills and your job ain't paying a lot of money.
Or has enough JRPGs for them to be interested.
Yeah, they really don't.
Maybe that's why.
Like, speaking of JRPG, if you got an Xbox One, Blue Dragon was announced to be backwards compatible. Awesome game.
But side note, you have to have the physical version. There will not be a digital release for it.
Really?
That's what I read. Kind of dumb. You think they would re-release it digitally?
Yeah, like sounds like some of the King of Fighters games was exclusive to the PlayStation, but yeah, it's not selling well. It sold like 80,000 copies.
Well, that's kind of more or less the problem. That's kind of more or less the problem with King of Fighters.
Is dead, and that's hilarious.
Like I was gonna say, I can't remember the King of Fighters ever being
when has King of Fighters been big?
Like it's always been big in arcades.
Yeah,
but they've never been
great.
They've never been like a big take home. Like they've always been big in arcade. And I remember they tried to get them bigger when they did that SNK versus Street Fighter Ola deal, but that didn't work out too well because they made 2 of those games, and everybody was like, "Yeah, just give us Marvel vs. Capcom back."
I mean, here's one thing, Retro. You know why? Because basically, Capcom screwed SNK because Capcom never paid them their money. That SNK was in a financial ruin at that time.
Well, the other thing is they feel like cousins. Like I'm sure you played the games, but for anybody that doesn't know, SNK's characters play a lot like Street Fighter characters. Even the ones that look completely different and their moves look completely different, they're the same button inputs. You can try at least 5 characters and put it in the Hadouken input, and you will do a special move.
That's about every fighting game, man.
Not at all. Not at all. Because if you play Tekken and you do that input, nothing happens. You play Virtual Fighter, nothing happens. DOA, nothing happens. You play those Japanese fighters like Blaze Blue.
No, you can do the Killer Instinct.
Close to that. Killer
Instinct. They got like the same moves.
Yeah.
I wouldn't even say that. Maybe one or 2 characters. But those Ultra combos are nothing like Street Fighters for Killer Instinct. Those are hard to do.
No, I'm just talking about just regular special moves, not the Ultra combos.
Well, I guess you could just play Mortal Kombat and buy the finishers with microtransactions.
Yeah. You can do that.
Trash.
But see, even with Mortal Kombat, the special moves are kind of weird to do. I mean, if you just play Scorpion and Sub-Zero, yeah, but for a lot of characters, those movesets aren't like that either. I mean, some fighting games do it, but most of the fighting games, if you play a large variety of them, don't follow that Street Fighter format. And that's why Street Fighter is really popular too, because Street Fighter is one of the few fighting games where it's pick up and play for at least special moves. I mean, to master the mechanics of actual combos and timing, that's hard to do. But for just doing special moves and all the cool flashy stuff, it's easy to do. Where a lot of fighting games make you work to do even those
Okay. So I kind of lost track of what we were talking about. Oh yeah, Wii U production. So yeah, it's pretty much done on Friday. So if you were, for whatever reason, waiting 3 or 4 years to pick up a Wii U, now you kind of have to pay more attention because it might not be in stores much longer. Maybe there'll be a price drop. We don't know. Probably it would make sense, but again, Nintendo, so you never really know. So that's kind of it. Do you guys have any other final words for the Wii U before we're done with this bitch and we're moving on to the Switch?
Rest in peace.
They say, "R.I.P. We just killed the club."
All right, well, yeah, Wii U, you're done. You suck. Okay, so let's talk about Sean Mori, the biggest con artist in gaming, recent gaming. If you guys don't know Sean Murray, he's the guy behind Hello Games, the team that made No Man's Sky, the biggest flop potentially ever in gaming, one of the biggest lies in gaming history. After the game came out, everyone realized that they were lied to and the game was nothing like what they were promised, and people were getting refunds out the yin yang. I think one guy played damn near 80 hours and still got a refund, maybe even more than that. They went dark. Like their Twitter, for over a month, they hadn't tweeted anything since the game launched. And then out of nowhere, Hello Games Twitter posted a very simple tweet. It just said No Man's Sky was a mistake, essentially admitting that they were wrong, the game was trash, and that they lied to everyone. So obviously a lot of people took notice to this, because when you go dark on Twitter as a company, once your product is under savage scrutiny from the community, and this is the first thing you tweet, people want to understand what's going on. So apparently there was a lot of damage controlling going on. People were saying this is a hacked account and that they were fake and their servers were hacked and a whole bunch of shit. So I'm just on the Forbes website here. So this site has 8 updates to the story, which is insane. I don't think I've seen an article with this many updates. So, because one, they're saying like it was Sean Murray himself. That was the first update. It says Polygon reports that Sean Murray himself has taken credit for the tweet. And an email from his personal account, he writes, "The tweet is from me, but somebody from the team took it down. We have not been coping well." So that was the first update. Then they go on to say that the emails were hacked and that the Twitter was hacked and all this other shit. So we don't actually know if this was Sean Murray, if it was Hello Games, or if this was an actual hack. Of course, all of this could be settled if Sean Murray just went on camera and said, "Hey, this wasn't me," or "Yes, this was me." But as usual, Mr. Murray doesn't seem to want to talk. He only likes to talk when he's lying to people, lying to their faces about his shitty game. But when it comes to answering questions, he's nowhere to be found. So I always find that pretty funny. What do you guys think about this situation? Hello Games, No Man's Sky, the lying, the deceiving, and now the Twitter fiasco.
Damn.
What do you think about all this for real?
Just stuff like this got me don't even like buying mostly games day one, because it's always a ripoff buying games day one, because you got day one patches, the microtransaction, all the DLC, a lot of missing content, and you still pay $60, man. It's just a lot of this crap that's been going on in this generation. Stuff like this is no surprise to me. We still waiting on feedback from the Shenmue situation. They took millions of dollars.
That guy took your money and ran.
that was almost 2 years ago.
He's in some fucking Japanese hot spring going Shenmue, just soaking it up.
Real just reminded me too.
Champagne with that money.
Exactly.
You got that situation. You got the Mighty Number 9 situation, like the Kickstarters. Like, it's just so much stuff has been going on in this industry these past couple of years, and we don't want to stay on top of this mess. We knew that No Man's Sky was trash before it was even launched.
You could tell it was trash.
All the trailers that we've been seeing over the past couple of years, it was like, this game is not worth $60. The game looks nice when we first saw it, but as time progressed, he was like, what else do you do? Like, where's the combat? Like, where's the multiplayer? Like, what do you do besides exploring the same spot, but it's just different colors? Like, what the hell is this thing? And people just going all up in arms, so hyped. Y'all, this is the reason why we are getting, ripped off this whole entire generation, because y'all getting hyped over stupid shit. And I cannot believe No Man's Sky sold over 1 million copies the first week. This trash of a game, and I can't believe this.
How many of those are refunded, though?
Hey, I would like to make a quick interjection here. Hey, Real, you know how we always be arguing your podcast, and I talk about how third-party game, like AAA games, are overrated? This is proof right here. A lot of console gamers have the mentality that, overhyped commercials for a game means that it's worth buying when there's plenty of awesome games that don't get commercialized that y'all should be giving a try, and y'all don't.
That's why you should dig deeper and see what's in these backlog of games. But it's a lot of games out here that don't even get as much attention, man. It's a lot of games out here, and I can't believe this No Man's scam shit, man. Like, oh my god, like, yes, this Sean Murray guy, he's a fraud, man.
He is a crook.
For months, and the whole Twitter fiasco. Like, man, just say it. Come out and say it. If you just go ahead and just admit it right now, then you can basically limit the damage. But the longer he wait, the more he's cannibalizing their company, Hello Games, in which we're gonna be saying rest in peace to Hello Games pretty soon, because if they make any more games, it's over with. Like, ain't nobody gonna trust that mess no more. You know, like, come on, man.
Yeah, there was no reason for this game to be $60. I think that's where a lot of the backlash came from, because $60 you expect a better quality title.
We've been saying this for years. Even last year, you know, we said this is an indie game. Why is it $60? Like, what else do you do besides exploring? Like, and I can't believe you got idiots out here that's defending this mess. Even your friend defending this mess. Like,
oh my god, there's still people today pretending like it's a good game.
It's not a good game. I hadn't played the game. I've seen the gameplay. It's trash. It's utter garbage. How the hell can you defend this shit? If I'm not shooting nothing, if I'm not doing anything that if I'm not doing anything that I'm doing, like, my games I'm playing right now, but besides just exploring, then how the hell can I have fun if I'm just exploring? I want some action or play with somebody. Like, what the hell is this piece of shit, man? But like I said, man, Sean Murray, he got to go. He got to go. Hello Games, they're pretty much done.
Their company name is ruined. No one's ever gonna trust.
Like I said, like, this doesn't surprise me. We can name a million things that went wrong this generation. As far as and been anti-consumer with these gaming companies. There's just a lot of people falls for the same bullshit, and nobody can listen to us because they're just so blinded by the freaking pretty graphics. But that's all I gotta say.
That a lot of the blame, like, obviously is on Sean Murray, but Sony needs to take some of this blame, because as you guys know, they were the ones that came out and said, we're going to put the full force of Sony's marketing team behind this game. They made this tiny little 5-person indie game, marketed it like it was a AAA $60 game. You cannot tell me that Sony had no idea what was going on when they were making this game, when they said themselves, we're going to put our full force behind this game. And then they go ahead and throw this guy under the bus. They totally they screwed this dude after he went out and started lying and all this shit. I refuse to believe this guy was allowed to go on talk shows and was just allowed to say whatever he wanted with no repercussions. They must have known what was going on. And it sucks that they went and put him under the bus. Obviously, he deserved it because he was lying to people. But Sony does need some of the blame here, because they are the ones that made this game $60. Like, if this game had just been a $20 game, I don't think there would have been much backlash, because for $20 it's probably worth it. But $60, no way. And that's because it was marketed as a $60 AAA game, because they had no other games coming out at the time. And that's really unfortunate. It's unfortunate for everyone, because now that company's dead. No one's ever going to buy their products again. This dude's probably going to get out of making games entirely, because no one's going to trust him going forward. And Sony just conned a bunch of people along with him. It's just a bad situation for everybody, unless you're some sort of wacko who thinks the game's good.
I still got reason to believe they had him do that.
I
still have reason to believe that Sony had him do that.
Yep. Maybe. I don't know. Like, this is probably the only way they could get to sell the game, because otherwise nobody knew what the hell you're supposed to do with it.
Like, other than over-promoted it, they probably rushed him, and there could have been stuff he wanted in the game, and they were like, you're not going to get that done fast enough.
Maybe. Like, I don't know. Maybe his intention was to have multiplayer and all this other shit, but it obviously wasn't in the game, so he shouldn't have been talking about it.
That's his fault.
Just a huge fucking fiasco from start to finish with this game. 3 years of hyping up this garbage ass game. Now the user base is less than 1,000 people on Steam.
Damn, that's pretty sad.
That's unreal. That is like a huge, like skyrocketing sales and a massive plummet. Crazy. Anybody else got some thoughts on this dog shit game?
Yeah,
I do.
Yeah, go ahead.
I don't see the appeal of this game. Like, I was never hyped or ever excited for it. I still don't understand what people saw in it. The concept itself didn't look that great to me. And then what the game sounded like it was supposed to be is essentially this game called Citizen that they're
Yeah.
crowdfunding on PC. It sounded like it was trying to be that on a lower budget, and I just didn't see the appeal. I mean, I've never really been that much into sci-fi games anyway, but this game never really sounded that good to me. Also, I'd like to say that I don't know any gamers in real life that has said they've ever wanted No Man's Sky or have purchased the game. I know a lot of people online talk about it. I know people online say they purchased it, but haven't met any gamers in real life that said, "Hey, I'm buying No Man's Sky."
I only know one person, and he's from the internet, but I've known him for a while, and he defends the game to no end. But none of my actual friends that I know in real life have a PS4 that bought this shitty ass game.
People are stupid, man. I'm sorry.
That's when you fall for the hype train. Like, literally, you have no idea what the game's about. You go and buy it.
Like, to me, in my honest opinion, there's a lot of good indie games, but a lot of indie games, because they're made to be small and quick, aren't the quality to be $60. Like,
Exactly.
if there were two indie games that were $60, in my personal opinion, I think Overwatch makes sense to be $60. And if League of Legends wasn't free to play, well, I was saying Overwatch because
Overwatch is not an indie game though. It's made by Blizzard.
But I mean, like, it's their, you know what I mean. Like, they usually do like PC games, and they usually don't make for consoles, so it's like their own independent project, if that makes any sense. Like I understand it's Blizzard, but they're their own company. They don't have like any consoles or anything funding them. They do their own work.
That makes sense.
And then the other one I would say is, if League of Legends was not free to play and they decided to give it to consoles, I think that's a game that would have been worth $60. It has enough content between playing against computers, playing with friends. You can do rank modes. There's big cash prizes for tournaments. There's, I think, over 80 characters now.
Oh, damn.
So those two games would be solid indie titles for $60, but I don't think
I just don't think indie titles should be $60 because all that's going to do is drive up the price of AAA games. Because if EA, for example, sees, oh, this little guy with five people on their team are charging $60 for their game, we have 300 employees working on our game. Let's make our game $100.
Right.
That's the last thing I want to see. Indie games should never be more than $20.
Yeah, exactly. But just, for me, it's just, I mean, he dug his own grave when he sat there and lied and cheat and steal. Like he pulled an Eddie Guerrero and stuff like that. Just fell for the hype.
Wow.
A lot of people fell for the hype.
That needs to be a meme. They need to have Sean Murray, and it just be like, when you hit that frog splash and miss.
Yeah, it's like, exactly. But it's just, I mean, No Man's bullshit. I mean, like I said, you shoot it through him under the bus just to cover their ass.
Completely.
Yeah, it's like, it's all it's like
I wonder how many people have noticed that the past couple of years that Sony has become like so dominant that they're just the console home base as a whole. They're starting to become Nintendo with how they treat their customers.
Because they can.
They have a policy in their contract where if you try to get a refund on a game, even if you're in the right, they'll stop you from using their online services.
Yep. It's crazy.
Yeah, it's a FU in return. It's like, but think about it, like, if that game sold millions of copies, again, like, I mean, how much money did they shell up for refunds? Like, people who got swindled and stuff like that. I mean, but, of course, that's people's fault for buying that bullshit because they believe the hype. They drink the Kool-Aid, and then you got what you deserve.
You get excited for basically just exploring the world and going to different galaxies, whatever. And as soon as you go to a different galaxy, it look exactly like the previous one, but just different shades, different colors.
Yeah, that's the problem with randomly procedural games. It's just the same shit recycled.
Yeah, like, you're not supposed to do it for the whole game. That's like a dungeon concept.
Yeah.
a lot of people say
they took like a small concept that you do in games and turned it into a game. That's like the laziest game development ever.
And the funny thing is, a lot of people had no idea what it meant. So when he pitched the concept, they thought it was amazing, which is funny because I can see game developers just cracking up while working on their games. Like, what are people thinking?
Okay, anybody else got anything, or should we move on from this dog shit?
Yeah, let's press.
All right, fuck that game, fuck Sean Murray, fuck everyone involved with it. Okay, so Titanfall 2 is bombing terribly, at least in the UK. This came out, when did this came out yesterday, it looks like. Titanfall 2 launch sales failed to match up to those of the predecessor in the UK. Titanfall came out on Xbox One, 360, and PC, and although physical sales on PC were negligible, Titanfall 2 launched on PlayStation 4, Xbox One, and PC. And apparently Titanfall 2 didn't even match the sales of Titanfall 1, even though it was put on the PS4 this time, which has a 40 million install base. That's kind of crazy. A lot of the blame is being put on EA because they put the game in between Battlefield 1 and Call of Duty Infinite Warfare, which is absolutely true. In what world would you do that? Call of Duty and Battlefield are the two biggest shooters ever.
Right.
Why would you sandwich another shooter in between those? That's instant failure. That's not something you would expect a company like EA to do.
Right.
They thought they had a loyal fan base.
They thought wrong. Because that is just stupid.
Yeah, I got a lot to say
what
on
else
this.
it says in here. Why don't you guys talk about this? I'm just going to read through this article again. Real, what are your thoughts on all this?
EA, they're stupid for what they did. Basically releasing this game right alongside their other game, Battlefield. It doesn't make sense. Like, this should have came out at least a month ago or something. While it was kind of maybe I won't say a little dry because we got Gears of War came out. Horizon. It was some Xbox exclusives. Some games that came out. Maybe they should have waited maybe after Christmas or maybe beginning of the New Year, because around this time, Call of Duty always gets the sales. It's a lot of games coming out during the fall. And another thing that would kind of hurt the sales, I think it did hurt the sales, is basically Respawn just disrespecting the Xbox fan base, in which made their first game successful. Even though it launched on the Xbox One, the 360, and Windows. And sales was pretty good, and now it's on a established fan base, install base, the PS4, over 40+ million, and it's still bombed. Like, honestly, they should have kept this exclusive on the Xbox or Windows, whatever, and basically, like I say, man, Respawn disrespecting Xbox fans did not help.
That didn't help them at all. I don't understand why they did that.
I think they lost money because of that idiot, that freaking
that Twitter guy.
Yes, and another thing, the EA Access. Like, what's the point of paying for EA Access?
That was another thing. Like, they wouldn't allow. If you guys don't know, Titanfall 2 was not allowed onto EA Access by Respawn themselves, and they wouldn't put out a demo. So they were restricting the features of EA Access. Just because the PlayStation couldn't get it, and that hurt a lot of their credibility, I guess, on the Xbox. People wanted to try the game out, and the worst part is the game is scoring really well. Like, people like the game. The reviews are really high. The people that have bought the game say it's amazing, but now they've kind of shot themselves in the foot. First, they piss off the fan base, then they take it off EA Access, and now it's bombing. And on top of that, they're between Call of Duty and Battlefield. That game never stood a chance.
No, it didn't. No, like I said, they pissed them off. They basically told them that they wouldn't allow EA Access, even though Xbox gamers are paying yearly subscriptions for that, and saying that the blue disc is more sexier than the green disc.
This disc right here, it's green, so it's not sexy. According to the Titanfall dev, it's not sexy because it's green.
Last time I checked, Microsoft got rights to the marketing rights for this game, and I couldn't tell on this one, and it's just a lot of shit that went wrong with this. And Respawn, they kind of shot themselves in the foot, and I don't see, like, is EA even stepping in this? Would be like, Respawn, you just fucked out of a lot of money for the bullshit that y'all caused, man. Like, y'all should have allowed the Xbox fans to get their EA access. You should have shut your damn mouth with the whole blue disc is sexier than the green disc, because we piss them off. They're not gonna buy you shit, and it's just stupid, man. Like, the Titanfall series is success because of the Xbox gamers. And when you say the green disc is not sexy, like, come on, man. You just digging your own grave. And the person that tweeted that out, like, he should be fired. I know this is only in UK, but if this turned out to be a massive flop, whenever we get the sales globally, then they need to go back to that person that tweeted that shit out and fire his ass, because they lost a lot of money for EA, and it's not a good situation. And it looks like a great game. I like the first one, but second one, it's just a lot of bullshit, man. Like, fuck him, man. I was planning on getting this game, but fuck him. He gonna say shit like that. Fuck him. I just get on the pre-owned. I just get a pre-owned so they don't get my money. Fuck all of them. I'm done.
I don't know. Like, I don't think the Twitter thing hurt too much. I think a lot of the blame should be put on EA by the placement of the game. Like, I agree it should have came out last month, or maybe it should come out in December even. But putting it in between Battlefield and Call of Duty it's the stupidest thing I've ever seen. It's as stupid, if not more stupid, than Rise of the Tomb Raider launching the same day as Fallout 4. That's how stupid this was. I don't know if EA wanted this game to fail. I'm not sure. That's what it seems like, because there's no logic to this. It makes no sense. Why would you do this?
Hey, they want to lose money that bad. That's on them.
Yeah, I don't know, because apparently the game is awesome. Apparently it's better than Battlefield. It's better than Call of Duty, but no one's going to buy it. No one's going to play it, because just timing, I guess. Timing is everything.
Right.
Because I again, like, the Twitter thing, while it is hilarious how mad people got about that, I don't think that affected sales too much. The people that are that triggered over that shit in general are not the masses. That is a small segment of lunatics. They don't make up the majority of gamers. The most of the people just bought COD or Battlefield because they know that's the bigger game. So I think that's what really hurt the game. I don't know what EA was thinking. That is just so stupid. What are your thoughts on this, sister?
I mean, it's just bad. Like you said, it was just bad timing, bad release date. I mean, come on, you release your game in a heavy month with all the heavy hitters.
Yeah.
You got, with Gears, Mafia, of course, Battlefield 1. Then you got Friday. You got Infinite Warfare. Because come on, you got a sandwich between. It's like, come on. I mean, that's stupid. It's like, I mean, yeah, it's like that game should at least come out in a month where there's no competition. I mean, like September or probably August.
Or at least not when the two juggernauts are fighting it out.
Exactly. It's like you should have just come out in January, February, and there's less competition.
Mm-hmm. They would have been better off.
Yeah, but
usually August we drop months. They should have come out in August.
Yeah.
It's like, I mean, just
I don't know what they were thinking. Apparently, I was reading Respawn had no control over the release date. That the release date was all EA.
Yep. But they didn't step up. They didn't step up to that. Didn't say nothing. They just do whatever they want. It's like that.
Of course not. They're not fitting the bill. They can't say anything.
Yeah.
Oh well, that's like I said. That's EA's fault then.
That's what I'm saying. Like, EA fucking tanked this game. I don't know why they would shoot themselves in the foot like that. That's just fucking dumb.
No, they didn't shoot themselves in the foot. They shot themselves in the ass because all that money. That's all the money that they lost.
Complete waste of money. Now that game's going to be bargain bin, which I guess is a good thing since you can get it cheaper. Like, I don't like paying $60 for $80 for me. Yeah, I don't like paying $80 for video games. That's dumb.
I wasn't gonna buy it anyway because, like I said, I got the three games I wanted anyway this month. I was like, watch out, waste $60 on a game I probably ain't even gonna touch.
Yeah.
But
whatever. Like, that shit's crazy. What are your thoughts on this retro, like Titanfall? Do you even pay attention to Titanfall?
Well, yeah, I've actually been watching a few people give their thoughts and some of the gameplay back when the beta was out, and a lot of people really didn't seem too pleased with the beta. So, with timing aside, because they definitely did pick bad timing, a lot of people really weren't too happy with the beta. Now, I've heard quite a few things. I've heard some people complain that they wanted a little more out of this game than the original. I heard quite a lot of people complain about some of the nerfs they made. Like, I understand they tried to balance the game because the issue with the older game was that the Titans were too OP, but now they're like
There weren't enough
essentially
of them.
yeah, but now they're essentially glass cannons and they go down really quickly, and a lot of people had problems with that. Also, while the game's been out, some of the things I've heard by reviewers, like Polygon is actually one of the bigger ones to point this out, but they were saying that the story mode for Titanfall 2 was really bad, and what
Really?
made it
I didn't
bad
think the campaign's
wasn't
amazing.
actually the story that they were given itself, but it was the gameplay of the story mode. Like the AI didn't feel challenging. They were slow, they were stupid, almost unresponsive to a point. And even if the story is good as far as what they're telling as the lore, if you have gameplay like that that doesn't feel challenging in a one-player mode, you're not gonna have any fun. So I could see with those factors being a part of it, why people wouldn't want to purchase the game. But that's all I got.
Okay. Anybody else got anything about this?
Now it's just EA. That's like I said. They better be careful because, like I said, they can be financially ruined. Just, keep making dumbass decisions.
I got a lot of backlog games to play, so I don't give a fuck right now.
I know,
there's
right?
lots of
It's just in general, a lot of these gaming companies, they're letting their ego get the better of them, over logic. That's why it's biting themselves in the ass.
I don't know what they were thinking.
That's
I
why
guess EA thought that that nobody was going to buy COD this year because of the backlash, but people are going to buy Call of Duty. It's just what it is. So I guess they thought Titanfall could take that spot. Who knows what their mentality was, but that was a bad idea.
I think a lot of companies are also forgetting you can't put out a lot of games in the same month too, because there's still an employment crisis, at least in America, and people that have jobs are working 2 to 3 jobs if they don't have a career.
Right.
So they're really not making much money between bills and if they have family or anything like that. So when you put too many titles into 1 month, you're asking for something not to be bought.
Right. Yep. Something has to give. Not everyone's going to run out and buy 3 games within 3 weeks.
Yeah, I mean, exactly. You don't want to be seeing something like that under the Christmas tree.
Shoot, that's why that's the whole reason I wanted the Switch to be on pre-order now while I'm still on scholarship.
I know, right? You put money aside for it.
I have money to buy a Switch.
Y'all would think the PS4 version would have sold a lot more than what it's selling right now, because there's not really many exclusives on the PS4. Like Xbox gamers, they got Gears to play, they got Forza, they got Record to play. Those are the 3 exclusives we just recently got.
PS4 is a different community though. Like they have a fan base that's scattered among multiple genres, and they don't really come together like that. Like Xbox is all about sports and shooters, but PS4 is different. They're all
Sony comes out and says they're the home of shooters now.
Sony has a group for shooters, but a lot of them really just play COD and not too many other shooters. Then they have people that play strictly RPGs like Final Fantasy and stuff. Then they got people that only play JRPGs. Then they have people that only play platformers, and then they have people that only play like hack and slash, like Samurai Warriors and stuff. So they have a large fan base that's segregated among different genres. They're not really together on anything.
Yeah, I don't it's whatever. Something had to give. There was no way all 3 of those guys were going to succeed. They should have put Titanfall at a different time spot. It's just what happened. I guess the game will get a massive price drop. Who knows? But it's unfortunate because apparently the game is very good. So that sucks that a good game is not selling well. It's generally better when a good game sells well, and a bad game like No Man's Sky, that's a game that should sell poorly. But why don't we move on to the Nintendo Switch? We got some more information, rumors, whatever you want to call it, about this Switch hardware-wise. Some interesting stuff here, some potentially alarming stuff, and some stuff that's just kind of, I don't really care, but it's possible to do with this. So the Nintendo Switch will have, again, rumor, just so people don't freak out. The Nintendo Switch will have a 6.2-inch touchscreen with 10 points of multi-touch, which is good because the Wii U gamepad is the same size, 6.2 inch, but it didn't have a multi-touch screen. It was a resistive screen with only 1 point of touch, so that was a really garbage-ass screen. This one's going to be capacitive with 10 points, so like more of a traditional tablet or a cell phone, how you would use those. It's going to be 720p, and this is according to Eurogamer, who did leak the Nintendo Switch initially and what it was, and they were effectively 100% correct with all that, so there's no reason not to believe this. What else did they say? Oh, Emily Rogers came out and said that the Switch will have 4 gigabytes of RAM, which is double the amount of the Wii U, but of course half the amount of the Xbox One and PS4. And what else was there? Oh, and the chip that they're using is Pascal, which is the most current version of NVIDIA's chips, which will be able to support VR down the road if Nintendo wants to do that. So a lot of information here, and there's some other stuff like the memory cards apparently can go up to, what does it say here? 128 gigabyte, but Nintendo says standard size of 16 gigabytes. But I guess these companies can use bigger ones if their games are larger. But the thing I just kind of want to focus on at the moment anyways would be the 4 gigabytes of RAM. A lot of people are kind of freaking out about this, and even I, when I first saw this, was like, ooh, that doesn't seem right. But then you got to remember, the Xbox and the PS4, the reason they have 8 gigabytes of RAM is because they're running the games off a Blu-ray disc. The Blu-ray disc does not spin fast enough to hold all the information, so some information has to be offloaded onto the RAM. The Switch doesn't have that problem. The Switch will be using cartridges which load faster so they don't have to off-put information, so they can get away with only having 4 gigs of RAM. Because again, you need to remember, with both the PlayStation and the Xbox One, out of that 8 gigs of RAM, 3 is reserved for the OS, so they're really working with 5. And then out of that 5, some is being offset from the Blu-ray disc. So this might not actually be a problem at all. You can probably assume 1 to 2 gigs will be saved for the OS of the Switch. So we're looking at 2 to 3 possibly gigs of RAM for the console to play games. Again, paired with the cartridge, that should be more than enough. It shouldn't cause any issues. And at the same time, we won't have, or at least we'll have very reduced load times compared to the Xbox and PlayStation, because they're not running off a disc, and you won't have to install the games on the hard drive. Hallelujah. That is a huge plus, because that is the worst fucking thing that these consoles have brought to us, hardware-wise anyways. What are your guys' thoughts on this 4 gigs of RAM and comparing to the Xbox and the Sony? Because a lot of people they're not really, I wouldn't want to say they're like, how do I word this? They might just be not informed about the difference between how the Switch will run and how the PlayStation and Xbox run.
If you still confused on a disc compared to a cartridge, you are an idiot. If you think a disc and the cartridge run the same, you are an idiot. If you think because 4 gigs of RAM meaning that your console is weak, Stone Fox Media, you are an idiot. I don't know what the hell. I guess he think RAM equals power. No, RAM equals memory. That's memory.
You got to remember, that dude is extremely uninformed.
Now, I will say one thing. There's 2 things with RAM. Like, if we're just talking regular RAM, yeah, it's just like memory for like downloading data and stuff. But on the other hand, if we're talking DDR RAM, which I was actually going to ask you, Alex, what did they say the DDR RAM was going to be on it?
It just says 4 gigs of RAM. It doesn't specify if it's DDR3, DDR5, any of that.
I was only asking because, like, yeah, if it's DDR RAM, then that could matter for at least online gaming. But for regular RAM, it should be all right, especially since they're talking about doing cartridges.
Yeah, it doesn't specify. It just says 4 gigs of RAM.
Okay, yeah, I was curious about that one.
It's a cartridge. Like, Nintendo is trying to separate themselves from everybody else, and everybody else well, all these uninformed gamers out here, you know, want Nintendo to stay the same or be just like Microsoft and Sony. They want
I really
their
hope
consoles to play like they want the disc.
Sony and Microsoft go cartridge.
Yeah, yeah. It's a matter of time where everybody else gonna go back to cartridge because everybody just loves to follow Nintendo.
It kind of aggravates me how people think like this, because these are the same type of people why there's so many malls that when you go to the mall, they have 3 Foot Lockers in one mall. It's because of people like this. Like, there's a reason there's supposed to be differences, so you can get different things, and there's competition with variety. If all the companies are the same, then there's no way to distinguish between the brand. You're just picking them because of colors, which now makes you, I guess, racist or retarded. Combination of both, but you get the point.
I still don't understand how can you compare RAM to power. It's just so dumb.
It doesn't even make sense.
Just,
like
that's what Star Fox got in his title.
Power, then you
That's
need
what
to
he
be
got.
talking about the CPU and the GPU, not the fucking RAM.
So yeah, his title is named More Nintendo Switch Detail, 4 gigabytes of RAM, 4 gigs of weakness. Like, I don't understand.
People forget that cartridges don't have load times.
He probably
Yeah,
doesn't
that's what I'm
even know that, because that guy's not a gamer.
He said he wasn't part of the golden age.
Apparently, he didn't own a Sega Genesis or a Super Nintendo or a Nintendo 64 because last time I checked, there was no load times.
Oh, what a noob!
Nope.
That's why
the biggest advantage of cartridges. That's why people should be excited we're going back to cartridges.
Yeah.
That's why cartridges was more expensive to develop for back then.
Yeah, because
it has advantages over disc.
That's true. Cartridges cost what discs do now back then.
Mm-hmm. But
Sonic
now the
3 was like
prices come down,
$70.
so it makes sense to go back. Like Blu-ray discs have outlived their usefulness. Like I don't know if you guys know this, but the reason the PlayStation 4 and the Xbox One, the reason that you have to install your games on the hard drive now, as opposed to last gen when you could run it off the disc, is because this fucking dog shit Blu-ray disc can't spin fast enough to spit out the information because these games are too big. So you have to install it on your hard drive so that they can play the game. The medium, the Blu-ray media is worthless for gaming now. It's too
I learned something new today. I always assumed they just did that because they were trying to make the platforms more like PC, just to make it easier for developers to port between every platform.
No, it's because the shit can't spin fast enough.
That's crazy.
Yeah. And that's why you have to put it on the disc. That's why your fucking hard drive fills up so fast. I guess they didn't expect that. Because 500 gigs on Xbox and a PS4, that fills up so quickly.
And here's another reason. Here's another reason cartridges are good. And I'm gonna kind of go on a mini rant on this because every time I think about how people handle technology, it angers me. People act like children when it comes to technology. I'll repeat that again. People act like children when it comes to technology. I know plenty of adults that you see constantly dropping their phones, having scratched up disc and all that stuff like they're children. Like, people don't know how to take care of technology, or maybe they just don't care to take care of technology. And with a cartridge, you can be a complete idiot with it and it will run.
Yeah.
Okay, Sinister, what are your thoughts about this? The Wii, not the Wii U, the Switch having 4 gigs of RAM. Like, are you worried about it? You think that's enough? Do you think they should have put more? What are your thoughts?
This is a tough one for me. I mean, like I said before, just when they come out with the presentation to explain all the specs and everything, then I'll give my input on it. But just at this moment, I mean, it's up in the air for me. At this moment, if it really doesn't need that much, I don't see a problem with it. But I mean, just overall, I need more information about it and stuff like that. I mean, the cartridges, of course, we all know they were expensive and stuff like that. Yeah, you don't have to wait loads and just plug, pop it in, play, boom, you good to go. But as far as like the space and stuff like that to run it, like I said, just bottom line, I just gotta wait and see until I get more information about it. But that's all I have.
Okay, fair enough. What about the touchscreen, guys? 6.2-inch, 720p. Do you think that's good? Do you think they should have did better?
Nah, that's fine.
That's cool.
That's fine with it is.
Keep it 720. 1080p. You'll run that battery off real fast.
Yeah,
It's
like
still
the higher
better.
it is, the more you
It's still
juice it.
better resolution than the 3DS, so it's reasonable.
Way better. Like,
Oh, yeah.
here's my phone. It's 5-inch screen. It has a 1080p screen. So, but if in this kind of size, even if you have a 720p screen, it's still clear enough. Obviously, 1080p would be better, but at the same time, that's going to affect your battery life. Because if you have a phone similar power as mine, but if you have a 720p screen versus a 1080p screen, the one with 720p is going to have better battery life. Personally, I'd rather have the better battery life in that situation over slightly better graphics. I think that's a good trade-off. So for them going 720p, not a big deal. It's going to be clear enough, and it won't affect battery life as much as what a 1080p screen would do. So I think that's okay. I'm a big fan that they're doing multi-touch this time, especially since the big thing about this is you can take it on the go and use it like a normal tablet, supposedly. So having multi-touch screen makes sense. Not resistive this time, so you don't have to use the stupid fucking stylus. It's good. I think that part's good. What was the other thing?
I think pricing will be less than $300 too if they're only running 720. So
yeah, I think
something else
that's
to consider.
another thing we got to consider. The cost of a 720p panel would obviously be cheaper than that of a 1080p. So that's another reason they probably went that way. Again, that's good for us. Like, I'd rather spend less on the console than I have to. So I have no problem with a 720p screen. Let's see. Oh yeah, potentially VR. So the Tegra chip we know is a custom Tegra chip. NVIDIA has said this, and they said it's their leading chip. And now that seems to be confirmed that it is Pascal, which is in their newest lineup, like the 1060, the 1070, the 1080, and the new 1050 Ti's. So that's good. It's using their newest architecture. Supposedly, Pascal works really well with VR. So VR is something that the Switch technically could support, apparently. We don't know 100% yet, but I don't really care about VR too much unless the price comes down a lot. Like, for me, I know this might sound crazy, but until VR headsets are $100, I'm not even looking at them. I know Microsoft just announced a new one for $300, but even for $300, it's too cumbersome, not enough games. I don't see the value. Even for $300, it's just too much. Eventually, a couple of years down the road, VR will be maybe $100. That's my buy-in point VR, and by that time, they'll actually have worthwhile games. Maybe at that point, Nintendo will be interested in VR, because even they said themselves they're not interested in VR until it's mainstream enough. So, but at least they'll have that possible functionality, so that's cool.
What I really want from this,
What?
What I really want from this, I really want Nintendo to embrace the internet this time, because with them going with a NVIDIA chip, even though we originally wanted the Tegra was going to be stronger, this is still good, because I don't know if you guys know, but if you have a NVIDIA chip, that opens you up to use Shadowplay for free. And with Shadowplay, you can record without any lag for games.
Yep, you don't lose
that'd
a
be
single
perfect
FPS.
for uploading like Nintendo games and stuff on YouTube, because if you have a tablet that has an NVIDIA card in it, even those run Shadowplay.
Mm-hmm. Shadowplay is the biggest thing I miss going from my NVIDIA card to AMD. Shadowplay is amazing. You can record gameplay with like 2 buttons. You can stream to Twitch and YouTube like super easily. Like,
wow.
I would hope the Switch can use some form of Shadowplay. Maybe they'll call it Nintendo Play or something.
Because being a tablet and being able to go online, it only makes sense for you to be able to do it. Like,
because obviously the hardware can, because this thing is just an NVIDIA Shield 2.
Yeah, like for that feature not to be there, it means Nintendo purposely blocked it out.
Exactly. That would be Nintendo told them not to use it.
Exactly.
I would hope it's there, because that would solve a lot of their problems. Because like Nintendo's OS, like for anything outside of just playing games, is terrible.
And you wouldn't have to buy a capture card no more, because those things are expensive. They're like $200 to have built.
No need to waste $200 just to capture your video games. Like the console could do it itself.
Yep.
So I hope they implement that. It would be a huge missed opportunity if they don't have Shadowplay. and some sort of GeForce experience on there, because that would be a huge plus, big advantage to going with them.
What about the power? I guess.
Oh yeah, we could talk about that. So there was a source. I don't know what some source said the power is going to be roughly 1 terabyte. Potentially can be upgraded. The absolute maximum this thing can do would be 1.5 terabytes, and that's because of the battery limitations within the Switch, which would put it in the realm of the Xbox One. So that's perfectly fine. Like, they'll still get all the games they could potentially get all the games, we don't know. But it puts them in the realm of the standard Xbox One. It's still lagging behind the standard PS4, and obviously it's lagging way behind the Pro and the Scorpio. But at least they're not leagues behind like the fucking Wii U. So it's not ideal, because obviously you would want it to be better than what was currently available. But it's at least they're not super far behind, and the architecture is way easier to develop for because it's ARM versus PowerPC, and that's a lot closer to x86, so porting games won't be as big of an issue. So I don't foresee them having the same problems like the Wii U did. And as far as Nintendo games go, 4 gigs of RAM, one teraflop, titty flop, whatever you want to call it, that's a lot of power for Nintendo games, because we know like they go for art style over graphic fidelity, so they can do a lot with that kind of power. So I'm pretty excited about that.
Yeah, a lot of people forget that, or if you've never owned a 3DS before, a cartridge holds the whole game. Unless you're buying digital games, the cartridge holds the whole game, and your save files aren't going to be big enough to fill up that 4 gigs. It won't be.
Real, you got any thoughts about the strength of the console or whatever?
I'm pretty sure most of us, all of us, wanted the Switch to be at least more powerful than the PS4, at least on par. Since the PS4, Xbox One came out first. Yeah. But with Nintendo's track history, they like to cut a little cost, and they like to penny pinch. And as far as technology wise, they always want to stay behind a little bit. But as far as having 1 teraflop close to the Xbox One, I have no issues with that, because Unreal Engine 4 is already confirmed to develop games for. If you get Unreal Engine 4 to develop games for your system, then your system is it's basically in the current generation, and instead of them being behind like the Wii U. And I remember a couple years ago, so I forgot what game it was, but they asked would they develop games for the Wii U, and somebody started laughing. That worked for Unreal Engine. That shit was funny as hell. They started laughing. But power is important this generation. We don't want to have another Wii U situation, and by them being close to the Xbox One power, these developers should not have no excuses this time to not develop games for the system, unless the fan base just completely just abandon third parties again. Hopefully that's not the case. Hopefully Nintendo take a different approach, at least advertise third parties on their system. Like, just Nintendo, they got a lot of stuff they need to work on. They need better third party relations. That's what they need. But they got enough power to satisfy me. The first party game is going to look really, really beautiful first party games with their art style, with all that power. It's going to look really nice.
You've already seen the difference. Like, if you've seen a side-by-side comparison of Zelda on the NS versus Zelda on the Wii U, it's a night and day difference. The Wii U version looks like shit compared to the Switch version.
Right.
The Switch version has better lighting. You can see more reflection in the grass. There's better coloring, everything, but it looks better on the Switch version.
That's why I'm excited. Like, the power-wise, it's enough power to compete. Look at the Xbox One versus PS4. The PS4 is more powerful, but you can't really tell. It's a little slight difference between power between the PS4 and Xbox One. Now you got the Xbox One versus the Switch. Like, you can't really tell. Xbox One can be a little bit more powerful, but you're not going to tell as much. It's more of a power gap, more with the Xbox One and the PS4 than the Switch and the Xbox One. So they're going to be dog fighting now with the power, even though the Xbox One will slightly be a little bit more powerful than the Switch. But power should not be no issue. and a lot of people that's out here in this community talking about what about the Pro? What about the Scorpio? Whenever they come out, what now? Like, oh my God, we got some idiots in this community. Like, these people actually thinking that these developers is going to stop making games for the standard PlayStation 4 and the standard Xbox One.
Like, these people are
in which
dumb.
there's over 60 or maybe 70 million consoles, standard consoles out there. Why the hell?
Well, we already know that's not going to happen anytime soon because both Sony and Microsoft have made it very clear that any game that's coming to the Scorpio and the Pro is going to come out to the standard consoles as well. And they're not going to be missing any features.
Yes, that's what I'm saying. Like, you know, Phil Spencer, he made it clear at E3, nobody's getting left behind. So whenever the Scorpio comes out, the original Xbox One is still getting the support. What's the point of coming out with the Xbox One S if they're going to stop supporting them? Like, retarded thinking for people to be like, well, the Pro Scorpio coming out, so they're not going to make games for the Xbox One, the PS4 standard. Shut up. Just shut up, man. God dang, just... I try to this generation. They just idiots. Just idiots. But it's like this. Nintendo, if they concentrate on themselves and not do that exact same thing what they did to Wii U, relying on third parties throughout the beginning of the generation, if they just come constantly first party games, these heavy hitters, more consoles sold, they have a successful launch, and they have success all through the year, it's going to open up doors. It's going to open up a lot of windows for third parties to shove in a lot of multiplats, a lot of AAA games. Nintendo had to concentrate themselves first if they want support, because more consoles sold, more likely we're going to get the Call of Duties, more likely we'll get Assassin's Creed and Battlefields and all those heavy hitter games out there. So that's just my thoughts on it.
Okay, Retro, what are your thoughts on this?
My thing is, as far as power goes, this is perfectly fine. I wasn't really expecting a lot of power because that's not Nintendo's style. What I really wanted from this, and it sounds like we're getting, is something different on the market. I mean, in my opinion, and I know I say this a lot, but if everything is the same on the market, then I don't have a reason to buy a console anything, because I get all the same games on PC and better graphics. Nintendo gives me a reason to buy consoles because they're not giving everything that Microsoft and Sony are giving, which is the same thing I already have on PC anyway. I like the fact that they're going to try to hybrid the portable and the console, so we'll probably see more games like Phoenix Wright and stuff, like more console style. I like the fact that it has higher graphics than the 3DS, because for a handheld, I thought the 3DS is nice, so 720 is going to look pretty good. I like the fact that the battery life isn't going to hit as hard as if it was 1080p, and the fact that this price is going to maybe under $300. Like, these are all good things. It's something that's fun on the go. It has more power than the 3DS, and they're going to have a lot more games supporting it. So overall, this is everything I've actually wanted. I have no complaints.
Okay, and Sinister, what are your thoughts on this?
No, just generation just seeing nothing but, crybabies, like, whine about this and whine about that. I mean, geez, you can't satisfy nobody, but it's just crazy. I mean, I don't have much on this, but
I think the price maybe around $250. That's probably why Nintendo kind of backed away from matching the PS4 power level, because they want to stay competitive with their pricing. That's what I'm thinking.
Yeah, I don't.
smart, though.
A lot of these people think this console is going to be like $400, $450. Like,
you guys
are
insane.
Nintendo ain't that.
If they got the same power level as PS4, and we can also take that on the go with PS4 graphics. Like, come on, man.
Yeah,
something has to give. Something has to give.
Now, $400, that's too much for Nintendo.
Exactly. Well, generally
I think
Nintendo consoles are under $250, so I don't understand why people think this thing's going to be like $400 or $500. Like, where are they getting this number from? Because you can take it on the go.
I mean,
all the guts are just inside the tablet. That's the only difference here.
Yeah, so 250 should be the selling point.
Bigger and drunk or high or something.
Yeah, I don't understand.
Maybe
Because like,
300 with a
Nvidia Shield is the same thing as this. That thing's only $200. So why would the Switch be $500? Because it has some fucking little plastic controllers on the side and a dock that doesn't do anything. Like, come on.
It's because you're getting Nintendo first-party games.
For the first party games.
Like, there's no way this thing's gonna be more than 300. I would imagine it's 200, 250, but Nintendo maybe
200 would be a sexy price. Like that's
200. That for 200, that thing would fly off the shelves.
It would, but Nintendo will concentrate on profit. They're not gonna make much profit on $200. I'm sorry.
Whatever. 250, then 300 with a Pro controller and Zelda. That would be a steal.
Look, if Nintendo can hear us right now and you make it $200, I will not wait a week and buy it on Amazon. I will physically go to a GameStop on foot. It's like a 3-mile walk from my house.
I don't know. Okay, so I guess that's it for the Nintendo. So we can go into the questions now. I'll take a few questions and we'll get on out of here. We got some stuff to do.
Here's
after
one.
this.
There's a question from EJ. He says,
Yeah.
What would be the third-party exclusive that you would like to have on the Switch?
First and foremost is Bayonetta 3.
Oh, yes.
Yep.
Absolutely.
You think I was thinking, Alex? Y'all say you was thinking what I was thinking. Bayonetta 3.
They got to get that. Bayonetta's got to stay.
That game was way too good.
It was.
Still tops me here at Smash Bros. Too.
Oh, I got some depressing news about Bayonetta 2 sales. I guess it was overtracked on VG charts. Now it's at 700,000.
Oh, it's only at 700,000?
700, yes, 700.
Where'd you see that?
750,000 VG charts. It was overtracked.
Oh, they redid it?
They redid it. So yeah, it's not at 1 million. We don't know for a fact if it's at 1 million because of digital. But
see,
yeah,
they're
I
probably
guess
not counting digital.
But they can't. There's no way to track it.
Right.
There's no way to track this.
Only
know.
Nintendo and Platinum would know that.
It's all good. Just wait another 5 years. Google will make some type of analytics software to track digital gaming.
I don't know what other third-party exclusive. I want like a Prince of Persia. I don't think Nintendo needs to focus on Assassin's Creed. I think they should get other IPs.
I have like that dance game so much.
Which game?
I want Nintendo to do like
dance games.
I want Nintendo to do like a goofy Naruto game. Nothing like how they got on PlayStation, Xbox, or PC. I want them to do something like goofy and funny. Like how you know they got the Naruto Shippuden series, Rock Lee and his friends.
Yeah, that shit's
Make
hilarious.
that a Nintendo game. That would be good. That would be fun.
Would, like severely lead them back into the kitty image, though. That's the only downside to that.
Yeah, that's true.
I would like some more like sports games, but Nintendo theme, like Mario, NFL Blitz, some shit like that.
Oh, that'll be tight.
Or
basketball theme. Like,
basketball. What was the NBA Street? Is that what it's called?
Yeah,
that one was fun.
Yeah, NBA
have a version of that.
One of them had Mario as a secret player too.
Yeah, that shit was awesome.
Really?
Yeah.
I think that was the GameCube one, right?
Yeah, I believe so.
Oh yeah, because he never just like with the Soul Calibur games, he had the exclusive characters. You know, had Link.
Yeah, Soul Calibur had that.
Yeah, because the thing is, the GameCube sold PS2 and Xbox combined.
That game, yeah.
It's just so disrespectful hearing those sounds Mario make and breaking somebody's ankles. To hip hop music at that. Like, could you imagine the look on Jordan's face getting crossed up by Mario? He'd go back to baseball so fast.
I was like, you believe this little fat motherfucker try to break my ankles?
What other games would be good for them?
Or him, Mario dunking on Barkley. You know,
I would like to see some of the third-party games that was exclusive to them, like Skies of Arcadia Legends. I would like a second game to that.
I don't know. There's just a lot of opportunities. There's a lot of middleware games that we've lost over time.
You know what else could come back?
Sequels now.
I know this game wasn't as popular, but it did sell pretty well from like the analytics I've seen. But since they're already talking about bringing Pokemon games and the Switch is going to be like a mobile console hybrid, they can make a Pokemon Conquest 2. It was like a you know how Disgaea is kind of like one of those strategy type games where you're like on the board in the field.
Yeah.
It was set up like that with Pokemon, but it also had the characters from Dynasty Warriors. So it had Yukimura, Sanada, Nobunaga, Oda, and it's like you could do the Pokemon attacks, but if you teamed them with certain Samurai Warriors, you could use their special abilities and stuff either to boost the characters or to attack the other characters and their Pokemon. And they would have their actual Dynasty Warrior game moves too.
Oh, that's pretty cool. Oh,
Matter of fact, ain't Nintendo partner up with Koei Tecmo again?
Yeah,
because
because
make another Hyrule Warriors. They
That's
have
what
to. That shit sold 1 million. Like it did.
Which
really
you just
well.
reminded me. I'm glad y'all brought it up. I had just purchased another 3DS like from Amazon Smile yesterday. I was trying to think of some more games. I'm about to go ahead and order that Hyrule Warriors for 3DS.
Hey, like the Hyrule Warriors on 3DS like has more content than the Wii U version. That's sad.
About to buy that right now on Amazon Smile. Get my Prime version.
I'd like. Does Wonderful 101 count?
That's what?
Because Nintendo owns that IP, don't they?
Yeah, but it's a platinum game.
Yeah, I guess we can count that. I would want another Wonderful 101. That was a really cool game. Just keep that gimmicky gamepad shit out of there.
Yeah, that was a good game. It's just Nintendo never marketed the damn thing. I never seen
that game got butchered in sales. Yeah. Which kind of leads into the next question here. Why do you think Platinum Games games don't sell that well? Traditionally, Platinum Games video games sell horribly. I think the best-selling Platinum's game is Bayonetta 2.
Yeah, because the first one didn't do too well either.
Crack 1 million. So like they have like this weird
PS3 version outsold the 360 version of the first one.
Oh wait, yeah, the 360 version sold 1.2 million or something, right? So that franchise is their best-selling franchise, but everything else they make doesn't sell very well.
Maybe because they do mostly hack and slash games, and hack and slash is just not really a popular genre anymore.
Yeah, it's like it's like Elfin Magic with Koei.
Yeah.
I think another reason they may not sell as well is because aside from inconsistencies with other games, Bayonetta kind of has the same problem that Tomb Raider has. Tomb Raider and Uncharted are very similar games, and Bayonetta and Devil May Cry are similar games. So
yeah,
it's kind of hard to get people to give her a chance when they know that the hack and slash fighting style is very similar to Dante's. Because there's that stigma there that it's the same game.
I guess.
Like I'm not gonna lie. For the longest time, when I looked at the gameplay, I thought it was pretty much the same until I played it myself. So it naturally has that stigma with people. And then a lot of people also say that if it's pretty much playing the same, then why would I pick it just because she's a female? So it has that stigma. Like the game is completely different if you play it, but if you're just looking at the gameplay, they look way too similar, and I think that's the problem. It's one of those games where you can't really look at the gameplay and judge it. You have to legitimately try it. Also, the story mode is better to me because I didn't really like the story of Devil May Cry personally.
I do, except for the DMC 2, even though the storylines the game series is out of order, but still, I mean, you got Dante who hunts demons. You got Bayonetta who hunts angels. I mean,
well, she does both. Yeah, she does both, and that's what makes it so fun.
The second game, she fights demons and stuff, but most of the time she fights angels.
That's true, but as far as like why their games don't sell, nobody knows. It's just this weird curse that they have. They make such amazing games, but they just they don't sell.
Yeah, but here's another thing, like the Bayonetta on the PS3, I played it, it was running so slow, it was so buggy. Like even the guy behind the scene that said it was buggy as hell, but the thing is, it outsold the 360 version.
That's the craziest part. Yeah, the PS3 version sold better than the 360 version, but the PS3 version was terrible.
Yeah.
Well, you already know the answer to that. Bayonetta is not a shooting game.
Right. That's true.
Yeah.
Just saying.
Let's see what else we got in here. If Sony and Microsoft stop supporting the vanilla PS4 and Xbox, okay, that's not a question. I don't see any other ones in here. Do you think Nintendo should bring back the Ken Griffey Jr. baseball game?
Oh damn, that's
Maybe
old
because he's
school,
managing.
I guess.
I mean, he
Probably
can still
something more
market
current would
anything.
be
Isn't
better.
he? Number fake teams on there.
By the way,
Okay.
thanks, JJ. I saw your message.
Yes,
I'll
yeah.
check out Fire Emblem too.
Oh yeah, Fire Emblem's apparently really good.
And I haven't played a Fire Emblem game before either, so this will be a treat.
Nintendo is continuously emphasizing that
And
NS is a home
Wayne.
console. Do you agree with this implication? And if that's the case, should its weak power be excused or not? Well, I think a big reason why they're emphasizing that this is a home console is because this thing's battery life is supposedly 3 hours. So it's hard to consider something a 3DS replacement when the battery is only 3 hours long. But the whole idea is that this is console quality gaming on the go.
They don't kill sales with the 3DS. That's why they're saying that.
Yeah.
3DS
I don't know. And as far as the power goes, like, if they're gonna do this and make it portable with that kind of mobile technology, if it was gonna be stronger than the PS4, like closer to the Pro, this thing would be like $800. So
What sorcery is this? Somebody on Amazon is selling a used version of Mario and Luigi Paper Jam for $35, but there's another vendor selling a new copy for $25.
Go buy that one then.
Absolutely.
Do you want Pokemon Snap on the Switch? I wanted it on the damn Wii U because that thing, it would be perfect for Pokemon Snap, but instead they gave me a virtual console game of the N64 version that doesn't even use the gamepad, so that was not fun. Let's see what else is on here. Oh hey Rerez, how are you? I had no bugs on Bayonetta for PS3. Garuda, come on, man. You know that game is riddled with problems on the PS3.
Come on, that's a pony.
Even Platinum came out and said that was their worst work.
His answer does not matter. He's a pony.
Hey, quick question for the chat from me. Which version of Fire Emblem Fates is better, Conquest or Birthright?
What?
I was asking which version of Fire Emblem Fates is better, Conquest or Birthright. I see there he'd have two different versions,
Yeah,
so I'm assuming they have different content.
They both scored like 9s. So it's hard to tell. They have those anime circle things. Okay, whatever. I guess we can jump out of here. I think Real, you got to get out of here anyways, right?
Yeah, and a few,
yeah. Okay, they're saying Conquest is the more challenging one.
Yes.
Perfect. Then I'm definitely getting Conquest.
And I think there's like a DLC for $20 that makes the story longer. Or it's like a secondary
If I like
story.
it, I'll get the DLC, but I'll check first.
Birthright is more accessible. I guess maybe if you've never played Fire Emblem, you might like Birthright. But, oh, he said if you want to get the full story, you need to buy all 3. That's retarded.
Well, how about I buy one and then watch YouTube videos on the other 2 games?
There you go. Okay, but yeah, I guess that's it. We had a lot of stuff to talk about today. The Wii U's finally dead. That bitch is done on the production line. No Man's Sky, biggest lie in gaming. Sean Murray is back, finally, supposedly, but we don't know for sure because he won't actually tell us. And what else did we talk about? We talked about Titanfall and Nintendo Switch, 4 gigs RAM and all that shit. But yeah, that's going to be it for this week of the Den of Sin. My little button's not working for some reason. Oh, that makes me so sad.
Let me see mine. Let me see mine work. Let me see.
Is this one? Again, it's only my favorite button that doesn't work, but these other buttons work. I can get applause, but I want
Yeah, mine work.
That one works, of course. But yeah,
I'm tripping. Let me buy some goldfish too.
Are we doing Real Talk on Thursday?
Yes, the Real Talk with the Real Gamer on Thursday, 7:30 Central Time. So do not be late. It's going to be a good show. So stay tuned.
All right. So like as you guys know, we talk about games here, and we leave the fuckboy stuff for Thursday. So
hey,
if you're interested in that kind of stuff, then tune in for Thursday because that's when we go in on people. There's zero gaming talk on Thursday. It's all fuckboys and nonsense. But, yeah,
Fuckboy Thursday.
We'll get
Y'all
out
act like I just some drama channel. Ain't no drama channel. I talk about video games. Thank
sure.
you.
Sure. Why don't you do a 30-minute video saying why you're not a drama channel, buddy?
Okay, when the last time have I done a drama video? Yeah.
Oh, sister, why don't you do your outro?
Hey, what's happening, y'all? Sinister here, and enjoyed another time in the den of sin, and ready for the real talk, the real gaming Thursday.
All right, Retro.
What's up, YouTube? Retro Bro here. Had a lot of fun tonight, and thanks for the advice. I bought all the games you suggested to me in one click.
Oh, damn. This guy's crazy. All right, and Real.
Thanks for having me tonight. Had some interesting topics to talk about, even though you thought we didn't have nothing to talk about because you thought it was a dry week. No, I told you it was a lot of shit to talk about. So, yeah, man, hell of a show, man. Nintendo talk. What else we talked about? We talked about, oh yeah, that fraud, Sean Murray. Fuck him. Fuck all of them. Fuck this damn gaming industry in general because all they do is want to fuck us in our pockets. And like I say, man, everybody that's watching, man, before you buy anything, do your research, man, because if it looks like a rat, it walks like a rat, it's a fucking rat, man. And No Man's Sky has been a rat from day one, man. Do your research before you buy anything from now on, man. It's just not Hello Games that's doing that shit. Everybody else is doing it. So just be smart
with this like anti-consumer shit Bethesda's pulling where they're hiding review copies till the day
maybe
before.
I know we talked about the other day. I might talk about it again. No, we did talk about that on my podcast the other day. So.
Yeah, I think we did. Like that is going to catch on. You can guarantee that's going to catch on, and the other companies are going to do it too.
Yeah, it will. So, yeah, like thanks for having me, man.
And it's because people don't stand up and say it's wrong.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's it for this week, everyone. Thanks for dropping by. We had a lot of fun this week, as we always do. Make sure to check us out next Tuesday, same time, same channel, and Thursday we'll be on Real's channel with Real Talk with the Real Gamer. And that's gonna be a wrap. I can't press my button. I'm sad.
I'll do it.
Oh, you do it. Okay. That's the wrong button. I'm out of here.